Johannesburg, South Africa, the wealthiest city on the continent and home to some of the most prestigious brands. Among them, a Pan-African company that has sponsored Manchester United, the richest club in the world, sponsored the World Cup, partnered with CNN, bought assets of Verizon, and imposed herself far and beyond. This is the story of MTN, Africa's largest telecommunications company and 8th largest mobile network operator in the world. As of December 2020, MTN had 280 million customers spread across 21 countries in Africa, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe. The same year, the company had a market cap of $20 billion, $24.8 billion in assets, and over $10 billion in revenue. Founded in 1994, MTN is a Pan-African mobile and telecommunications operator headquartered in Johannesburg, South Africa. They are listed on Johannesburg Securities Exchange, or the JSE, under the share code MTN. The company boasts of 289 million subscribers and 59 million mobile money users throughout their operations, including Afghanistan, Cameroon, Iran, Nigeria, the Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Uganda, and of course, South Africa. MTN's vision is to lead the delivery of a bold new digital world by building a best-in-class experience for customers. To fully understand this story, we go back to 1994 when South Africa had only 4 million landlines and only 1% of the black population owned a phone then. Ironically, the black population made up 90% of the total population. The same year, however, is marked with fond memories in the hearts of Africans and the entire world. It is from here that the dark days ended and glory days kicked in, shaping the Rainbow Nation as we know as an economic superpower, investment magnet, third richest country on the continent. Nelson Mandela was sworn in as the first ever democratically elected president and the very first African head of the Dutch colony. A daybreaker for a country that had endured some of the most hostile and dehumanizing colonial rule. The potential that had for long been chained to a rock was set loose and continues to impact lives and inspire generations. Such potential would become evident in MTN, an indigenous company that would go on to be Africa's #1 in almost everything as voted by Forbes, Businessweek, and the Wall Street Journal. Africa's most valuable company, Africa's most admired brand, the best employer, fastest growing company, the list goes on. The story of MTN is a textbook tale of entrepreneurial masterpiece defined by intellect, precision, risk-taking, and sheer determination. If you're wondering how a company can thrive in highly volatile and unpredictable markets, you're not alone. It's the same curiosity that sent me 30 years ago to navigate the rise and dominance of Africa's most successful brand, MTN. It all began in 1992 with a statement, "You know, there is something you can put in the boot of your car and make phone calls to your secretary." Amazing stuff. Ian Wilkinson shared this with Jacobus Petrus Koos Becker after a trip to the United States. Koos immediately bought into this and would go on to be a founding member of MCell, which later came to be known as MTN. MCell launched operations in 1994, and for the first time ever, South Africans had access to GSM payphones, which could carry both voice and data. There could have never been a better time to invest than in 1994. Telco was a fast-growing industry in post-apartheid era, and as you'd guess, all investments in South Africa were predominantly owned by whites. This prompted the African National Congress, or the ANC, to find ways of closing this gap, and here was MTN, a company with black Africans among its board members, making it easy for the ANC to not only grant MTN an operating license, but government funding as well. MTN was a success right from the start, a perfect timing, revolutionary product, and the quality of service delivery was unprecedented. Only 300,000 subscribers had initially been anticipated, but the actual number of subscribers ran into millions shortly after the launch, proving that South Africans desperately needed this service. MTN brought affordable cellular services, great customer experience through the IVR or interactive voice response, and free emergency calls. This came along with great innovations with products like the short message services, commonly known as the SMS, 3G internet, a telemetric application for tracking and recovery of stolen vehicles, and so on. Societies connected easily, trade and commerce got more fluent. MTN made it possible for everyone to achieve the benefits of a modern society in an affordable manner, making them a telco of choice with strong ties in every community among which they operated. MTN Group has always been spot on when it comes to market research and strategy implementation. In 1995, just within a year of its launch, MCell became a public company with 25% belonging to MTN Holdings and 60% held by MTEL. And in 1996, MTN would go on to acquire MTEL, creating a blueprint for network-owned service provision. In the year 1997, MTN Group embarked on massive international expansion through the subsidiary MTN International, mainly through mergers and acquisitions. The group dominated every market they entered into with ruthless aggression and untamed risk-taking. By the end of 2020, MTN operated in 21 countries across Africa, the Middle East, Asia, and Eastern Europe. This has since been reduced to 19 after MTN disposed of their interests in Yemen and Syria. In 1998, MTN started operations in Uganda and went on to quadruple the country's teledensity in just 4 years of operations. The Pearl of Africa remains a key market which they have continued to dominate to this day. Nigeria, the group's jewel in the crown and their largest market to date with over 70 million subscribers, giving them 35% of the market share. This market alone generates a third of the group's total revenue annually. You don't need to stress yourself, you got that world in your hand. Like a baby. The brilliant investment in Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, was championed by Paul Edwards in 2001, CEO of MTN Group then. In Ghana, MTN acquired Investcom in 2006 for a reported $5.5 billion, rebranding Areba, a wholly owned subsidiary of Investcom, to MTN Ghana. At the time of acquisition, Areba had only 2.5 million subscribers. This number reached 4 million subscribers, and by the end of 2009, MTN Ghana had over 8 million subscribers. This can only be attributed to innovative products and services on top of leading technological innovations by MTN. The acquisition of Investcom greatly helped MTN enter markets like Sudan, Syria, Yemen, Afghanistan, and Cyprus. The Cyprus branch was later sold for a reported 260 million euros to Monaco Telecom, which rebranded the subsidiary to Epic in June 2019. According to a report by Frost and Sullivan, MTN Group's competitive advantage is aggressive penetration into markets shunned by other operators. This highlights MTN as a bold risk taker, as evidenced by investments in markets like Syria, Yemen, Iran, Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Sudan. By the time competitors think of joining these markets, subscribers would already be locked up by MTN, and switching would be inconveniencing and at a high cost. A classic example is when Orange, Africell, and Vodafone attempted to start operations in Uganda, which would later prove a fatal failure.
And we took over the market. Prepaid, affordable products for the Ugandan market. That was our competitive advantage.
To put Uganda's operations into context, MTN started operations in Uganda when Celtel was already established, but the latter would soon become extinct. MTN realized that Ugandans didn't need postpaid telecom services, a strategy Celtel had held on to rigidly. The introduction of a prepaid service would make MTN a market leader and a rock for competitors to match.
So we came and did our research. We realized that prepaid was a secret of success in Uganda. So we launched with our prepaid products and we took over the market.
Not even a merger between Abu Dhabi's Worried and India's Bharti Airtel would knock MTN off the #1 spot in Uganda.
MTN, everywhere you go.
This was made even harder when MTN pioneered mobile money business in Uganda.
Anything. Who would you become?
MTN is also heavily involved in corporate social responsibility through the MTN Foundation. It is reported that in Nigeria alone, MTN has contributed 1% of its profit after tax to community service. This has seen the telco giant invest a staggering 25.7 billion naira since 2004, which translates into over $50 million. The MTN Kampala Marathon is an annual charitable event in Uganda and the most professional athletics event in the region. An estimated total of $1.3 million has been raised over 20 years, improving lives of millions of people in Uganda.
And to show the whole world, and Uganda in particular, that MTN really truly cares.
Using proceeds from this marathon, MTN has helped resettle war victims, equip health facilities, build schools, help communities access clean water, among other critical public services. Corporate sponsorship is another area through which the group has kept in touch with communities. MTN were the only African global sponsor of the 2010 World Cup and continues to sponsor sports, leagues and other sports events across the continent, including the Springboks, the CAF Champions League, the Zambian National Soccer League, the Uganda National Men's Soccer Team and countless others, splashing billions of dollars along the way.
My number than the portable, it means I think to carry and come to MTN easy.
Just like Coca-Cola and Nike, the most recognized brands globally, great companies don't just sell products or services. They sell a philosophy, a sense of connection to communities and generations. MTN identifies well with the needs of communities and provides affordable digital solutions. And the reward has been nothing short of a love affair between MTN and Africa. Changes in high-tech operations can be rapid, overwhelming and highly unpredictable. According to a 2014 report by Deloitte, subscriber growth remains strong due to a growing number of middle class, but revenue growth is getting slower. Voice remains a major revenue earner for most telcos, contributing 80% as of 2011, but this has been rapidly declining. The blame is mainly on stiff competition, but a mature market. Changing demographics and emergence of new technologies have been equally impactful.
What do crocodiles eat?
Innovations and forward thinking have been at the forefront in MTN. No surprise, the telco giant is the first African company to join the metaverse world, purchasing 144 plots of virtual space in 2002 from Africa Rare. To remain profitable, MTN has responded with a holistic transformation towards new operating models and innovations, inspired by a belief that everyone deserves the benefits of a modern connected life. In November 2020, MTN launched Ambition 2025, which aims at driving accelerated growth, preserving value and positioning the group for greater relevancy ahead. This is a quote from the MTN 2021 Integrated Annual Report. As part of our refresh strategy, in early 2022, we overhauled our brand with a new visual identity, which is modern, simple, bold, and digitally dynamic, indicative of how we look to secure a better future for all. Our brand promises, doing for tomorrow, today.
I don't go let wahala hold me down.